Once again, I'm Jerome Paul Sonko. Welcome on board JP Live.
Right, JP Live. Where did the JP Live come from? We shall have that conversation another time because I might start interviewing you, the journalist in me.
From the journey of JP Live. I know.
We shall have a conversation about it. Well, welcome to the show once again. Now, yesterday, Jerome Paul, the president graced us with his presence on every national television and, you know, was addressing especially matters security. Yes. The interesting things for me were, he mentioned that the ADF was defeated in 2007. Also mentioned that some of the different killings we have seen and the attempts, for example, the attempt on General Katumba Wamala, the minister for Works,
touching all of the top killings that have actually highlighted Uganda for the last few years, highlighting them to the ADF. Yes,
we look at Chirumira, look at Kagezi, look at General Katumba, the attempt on his life, but also that saw the death of his daughter, and a number of those were attached to the ADF. But according to President Museveni, we have done a wonderful job when it comes to, you know, keeping these people in check. And so far, he says, the UPDF has done a wonderful job. I think the challenge in the first place was Congo was not giving in so much help to the soldiers that were, you know, that had gone to Congo. But as of now, we are actually on the right footing. And before we know it, ADF is going to be wiped out totally. But what were some of the other pointers?
Well, the bigger pointers was the president also mentioning that we have quite a number of strangers in the country. So that means everyone shouldn't be letting in strangers in their society.
Right.
He did mention of areas of, you know, areas like churches. He mentioned mosques. He also mentioned happening places, especially the bars.
The bars.
Where he actually said that the drinkers
know themselves.
Yeah, know themselves.
Partially, he's right, though.
You easily know who you party with in the night. You definitely know who comes in with you.
Who is new,
you know,
in the
who
place.
Is new in the place. You can identify easily.
Right.
So I think it is kind of the same situation where he was calling on Ugandans to be more cautious about any new individual who comes in. And also did mention, for example, in churches that if you have new members, I think when you look at the Pentecostal churches, when we have new members in church, in most cases,
they'll ask you to stand up
if it's tell us where you're from, and you identify.
They'll actually take your details.
They take your details because you're a new member. You're welcome to the family.
Right.
So I don't know how it is done in other churches, but you get to realize that the president is cautioning churches, places of worship, that when you have a new member, all you need to know is make sure that you pay keen attention to this new person.
Right.
They may never have the rightful intentions as you think they do.
Even if it's a worship house.
Exactly. So because we've seen, you know, terrorists, and we've seen, you know, people coming through in different areas and they still cause harm to the people who are working or the people who are worshipping or people in any place. So I think one of the key catchy words from the presidential speech is looking back and, you know, focusing on the cautious times, because these things are not. These are not times for us to sleep around.
No. And each of us has to be vigilant.
Exactly.
Yes.
So we need to be each other's own spy, because in the long run, you never know what will happen if you're not careful with any individual.
I might be working here with you when you were actually sent to do something, so I have to be on the lookout all the time. You never know. But also, he went ahead to give us some statistics, and according to President Museveni, 567 terrorists have been killed, 50 have been captured alive, 32 have surrendered, and we have seen 141 SMGs, 6 RPGs, 132 walkie-talkies, 10 IEDs, 47 phones, and 207 abductees have been rescued as well. That is according to President Museveni, and I believe we are doing such a wonderful job. I mean, our security has also tried to, you know, to show us better compared to the previous times where we could not even get, we could not even get someone and say this is a suspect. But now we are, in the shortest time possible, we have suspects that have been, brought before. Then President Museveni also says 18 ADF terrorists were killed, and that is including one Mzee called Mubindo. These were killed from Kasese district. One terrorist was captured, and 17 SMGs, 1 RPG, and 21 abductees. Yeah, like I already told you, those have been rescued as well. Well, hail to the security bodies for the job. Very well done. Well.
Also not to forget, he did mention about if the UPDF is given room or given permission to operate in the DRC, then the ADF will be no more, because he does, believe the UPDF can conquer any kind of external threat that comes into the East African region. Because when you look at it, the DRC, which is now the 7th member of the EAC, also it does mean we need to work on these external borders, internal attacks and everything, and of which the ADF for decades has been one of the biggest threats to the East African boundaries.
Right. And he also mentioned that he recommended LDUs for Congo. He mentioned that he recommended LDUs because he believes the LDUs have worked for the country because they work hand in hand with other security bodies. So he believes that this could also be a strategy that that DRC could use to to maintain security in the country. And the sad note is that DRC is a very rich country, but because of insecurity, we have seen how far insecurity can go to leave a country very, very underdeveloped. And if this security matter is handled properly, then we are going to see growth and development in the shortest time possible, of course with very good leadership in the DRC. So I do believe that when this is handled, then maybe we are going to see great things happening for DRC. And when they happen for DRC, they happen for East Africa as well.
Yes. And of course, the matters to do with security continue to be a very key consideration for any country, because at least we all know if the country is more peaceful, then anything does operate smoothly. So that is why you get to realize why the government, the NRM government, always emphasizes or prioritizes security as a key aspect in
when it comes to the
country.
budgets.
Yeah.
And and lastly, if you're a hotel owner, and if you're in the field of hospitality, but you also residents and all that, make sure that you take the details of these individuals that get into your hotel. And also, he said, make sure that these IDs provided to you do have pictures, because at the end of the day, I might give you an ID without a picture and you can't identify me. And it could also be someone else's ID. So the picture and the name have to look like the person who has presented that to you. Well, that is a summary of how the presidential address ran yesterday. A lot more, of course, is available on our X app. You can just go and type UBC and you'll be able to get the rest of the details in there. But for now, let's take a look at the local stories that have been making rounds.
All right, now from local stories, a delegation of South African ministers has thanked President Museveni for being an exceptional leader who has steered development in Uganda. The ministers also extended greetings from the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa and thanked the two heads of state for their commitment towards promoting the bilateral relations between the two nations. The South African ministers included Honorable Thoko Ndidiza, the Minister of Agriculture, and then Honorable Mondli Gungubela, Minister of Communications and Digital Technology, and Honorable Fish Mahelela, the Deputy Minister for Tourism in South Africa. Now, President Museveni applauded President Ramaphosa and the government of South Africa for their efforts towards the strengthening of the bilateral relations between the two African countries. And then back, when you look at the other story, is that the Chabazing of Busoga Kingdom, William Wilberforce Nadiope, the fourth, has finally found a queen in Abantu, Her Royal Highness Mutesi Jovia. Katikiro Dr. Joseph Muvawala was delighted to convey warm regards from the Isabantu Chabazinga of Busoga Kadubula Gabula that it is a momentous day for the people of Busoga all over the world. And of course, when you look at this, let's have the highlights of the unveiling of the Hinabantu Her Royal Highness Mutesi Jovia. Well, now, moving on, besides that, the National Medical Stores have distanced itself from the circulating news that livestock farmers are using the ARVs to fatten pigs and poultry. While appearing before the Parliament's Committee of HIV and AIDS and other related matters, the Chief Operations Officer at the National Medical Store, Paul Okware, said that they are only mandated to procure, store and distribute essential medicines. And well, also lastly, from the local news, former Forum for Democratic Change FDC party president, Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye, says he's disappointed over the declining democracy in the FDC party. According to Besigye, the Forum for Democratic Change was formed with core principle of promoting democracy, noting that the current party leadership has deviated from that. This was during the FDC party delegates meeting from the Bunyoro sub-region in Hoima, Oil City.
Thank you so much, Sonko, for the local news. At this moment, we'll take a look at the international news, see what is happening across different parts of this world. Now, we start off with France, and France's top administration court has upheld a government ban on the wearing of traditional abaya, call them long and loose garments worn by Muslim women in public schools, dismissing complaints that the ban was discriminatory and could incite hatred. The State Council, France's highest court for complaints against public authorities, said on Thursday it had rejected a request for an injunction against the ban. Ahead of the court's ruling on Thursday, France's Council of the Muslim Faith established to represent Muslims before the government warned that banning the garments could create an elevated risk of discrimination and said it was considering lodging its own court complaint with the council. That is what is happening in France at the moment. And we cross over to Greece. An Austrian couple on honeymoon is missing in Greece after torrential rains swept away the house they were staying in. Emergency services have told news agencies that they are searching for the couple and several other missing people. People in central Greece were trapped on the roofs of their houses after floods set whole villages underwater. More than a dozen people are now known to have died since the storm Daniel hit Greece, Turkey and Bulgaria this week. The Austrian couple decided to shelter inside the bungalow they had rented for their honeymoon as heavy rainfall swept central Greece, the owner of the accommodation said. We come back to Africa and take a look at what is happening in Mali, because there was an attack on a boat, an army base in Mali that killed at least 49 civilians and 15 soldiers. Armed groups have attacked a passenger boat and military camp in Mali, killing at least 49 civilians and 15 soldiers, according to the country's armed forces. Approximately 50 assailants were also killed in the attack on September 7th, 2023, at around 11, that is GMT. Armed terrorist groups with fatal designs attacked a boat from Komanav, a ferry operator between Abokiara and Zogoi in the territory of Rahus, Mali's military said in a statement on social media, referencing towns in the central part of the country. The boat had been traveling on the Niger River. Komanav said in a separate statement that at least 3 rockets had targeted the vessel, aiming at its engines. And from there, we talk matters climate. The march on Arthur Ashe Stadium was halted in Game 2 of the second set after a group of 3 protesters wearing T-shirts with the slogan "End Fossil Fuels" began chanting the same message. The protesters were greeted with jeers and chants of "Kick them out" by other spectators as security staff moved in. Images posted on social media appeared to show that at least one of the protesters had glued his feet to the concrete floor of the stadium, preventing his easy removal from the arena. The delay occurred as Muchova prepared to serve a game of 2 to serve in game two of the second set of golf, leading 6-4, 1-0 just after 8 p.m. local time. That is it for the international news and climate updates. We'll be crossing over, checking what is happening in our press review this morning, what you need to check out for in both the New Vision and the Daily Monitor. And of course, Sonko has all that.
A copy of the New Vision and the Daily Monitor with me this Friday. The New Vision with the headline, President Museveni issues new security measures. Landlords, hotels must ask for national IDs before allowing anybody to stay. The details of the president's speech are all in today's New Vision. You can grab yourself a copy and get more of that. Now, Chabazinga finds love. Busoga King officially unveils Queen to the public. Details of the royal wedding are also in today's edition of the New Vision. Now, in the beat, Miss Tourism pageant is in today. You can definitely get more of that. Now, in the other news, health indicators improve. The New Vision gives you more highlights of the same. Now, the new curriculum, pre-tests and Senior 3 physics in the New Vision today. Parliament, why ministers are dodging plenary. There is a report on that with the New Vision. Then other regulations, UPDF does impound imported illegal fish gear. The New Vision is giving you more of those highlights. Now, furthermore, the Daily Monitor, President Museveni bans entering lodges, churches, mosques without national IDs. So that means every Ugandan should carry one. The Daily Monitor gives you more details of that. Now, inside the battle for top FDC jobs, battle lines drawn, ideologies from rival camps of what until 2021 was Uganda's largest opposition party. Of course, in a huge milestone, a pictorial showing Busoga Kingdom unveiling Jovia Mutesi as the new queen. Now, in the other news, medical stores blames ARV abuse on HIV positive persons. Then Umeme fined 500 million shillings over electrocuted child. As in the Scoop magazine rather, Maurice Kiria, a star that returns to stage. Furthermore, government reports decline in death of mothers and babies. There are also some jobs for those who are seeking for jobs. More of that in the Daily Monitor Friday.
Thank you so much, JP Live, for that update in the press review. And if you want to grab a copy, please, you can choose one or two or both. So, there is a very important question that I'd like to ask you.
Yeah.
They usually say, if you want to have bright kids or beautiful kids and all that, the partner you choose matters.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm basing this on the new queen of Busoga. She's very beautiful. Very beautiful. And my question to you would be, is that something would you consider a lady's beauty? Or you're going to be like, no, she doesn't look so beautiful, but she has the brains, she has the character. You have to usually defend her in public without the physical appearance.
You know, it is very easy to defend beauty in our generation. It's very easy to defend beauty. However much me as JP, I'm a sapiosexual thinker.
Ooh,
I would prefer maybe a woman with brains up there. You really need to challenge me as much. But again, you need to spice it up with the beauty. You know, even when they're looking for Miss Uganda, they say we need beauty.
You can't eat your cake and have it.
You know, they say beauty with brains. So I want someone to, like, you spice up the brains with beauty. It may not be too much, exaggerated.
But you have like a standard.
Exactly, of that beauty. But anyways, kudos to all the people of Busoga upon this one. I have my relatives in Busoga, by the way. Yeah,
it's such a beautiful, and congratulations to the King of Busoga. Well, we're going to be taking a very short break. When we come back, we're going to be having a performance from Titus Kutesa. But also, we do have an interview later on. I mean, it's a Friday. We get to tone it down, talk about movies, talk about entertainment, launch you into the weekend. Let's get into a very short break. Good morning, Uganda. Friday Special continues.
Distribution Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda. Topic of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my servant.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
This Preno, as the name prescribes, is the project for restoration of livelihood in northern region. So it was designed to support the population in order to implement the national programs of wealth creation, improving household income, and this is done through supporting agriculture. And by supporting agriculture, you support seed production, training of farmers, mindset change, and even it went ahead to have components of food security grants, whereby families were given grants to be able to improve their food security. But there was also community-based natural resources grants, which were given to families to put in place woodlots, which would help them to reduce on killing the vegetation and deforestation, looking for energy or for firewood.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*4#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda. Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
All right, good to have you this particular Friday for all of you, wherever you are. This is Good Morning Uganda Friday edition. The GMU Friday edition, that means if you are to share your opinions on our X app, on our X handle, you will definitely use the hashtag GMU UBC GMU Friday edition as we keep inspiring you. Good morning, Uganda, and of course, many thanks for joining us and sticking around for those who started with us where we started. Of course, at this particular hour, we are definitely going into that session of entertainment because Fridays are normally to lighten up, to, you know, usher you into the weekend, inspire you into the weekend, something that we do every single Friday here because of a stressful week it normally is for most of the people out there. When you look back at this particular week, by the way, it was filled up with rains, and of course most people were thinking of other things to do. But of course, remember, when the weekend is here, it's always time for you to refresh your mind, get back to the drawing board, try to think of what you can do next. And maybe you never know, by next week or by the start of a new week, you're refreshed, you're happy, you're excited to go again. And that is what we definitely do. But of course, besides the fact that we want to inspire your Fridays, today is a different kind of vibe. Today we look at gospel music. Today, because every new in this new era of gospel, or the gospel industry in Uganda, we've come out to realize that the gospel music industry has actually been shaping up tremendously. And of course, we all know that gospel music is full of life. How about that? And when I mention gospel music is full of life, I cannot go without mentioning about the other bigger artists in the gospel industry. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are, our esteemed viewers, allow me a kickstart of your weekend with Titus Kutesa, who is definitely here to inspire your souls with some incredible gospel music. Good morning, Titus. Welcome to UBC. Please, do your thing. Good morning, Uganda.
Twalokoka naye, twayimbanga naye, Angelina twasabanga naye. Buli muvubuka ku chachi nga yagala kukwana Angelina, yali muwala mulungi okusama, nga bamuyiwako wamata n'enganywa, amukwanako wanjira n'alema, ebyenzikiza yo yali yabigoba ebyo. Angelina yalina amasonga gakubanga bwamwenya ndaluka, yaliko amafuta nga bwasiiza emizimu gisinzibuka. Angela yali ayimba, yaliko ekisa nga yogera balema ne batambula nga temusabi, yali mwegendereza nga yagana okweyonoonesa ye. Lwakyalumwa Angela nambulako, namukubirako essimu nakijjako, bwe naddamu okusanga Angelina nagwawo ekigo, teyalinda bisuubizo bya Mukama, teyalinda bisuubizo bya Mukama. Angelina teyalinda bisuubizo bya Mukama bye yamusuubiza, teyalinda bisuubizo bya Mukama. Angelina teyalinda bisuubizo bya Mukama bye yamusuubiza, teyalinda bisuubizo bya Mukama. Angelina teyalinda bisuubizo bya Mukama bye yamusuubiza. Angelina, 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 manyi naawe bikaluba mwera bikunyigamu abakulaba gy'oyitireyo ne basekanga balowooza bwe walokoka wagwa ddalu basumba bakulaguddeko bingi tonnabiraba ebyo sabira tonnabifunaalo linda bw'oba wasalawo kulinda katonda mulindire eddala ebirungi biri mu maaso oyagala biri mu maaso tobanga Angelina bamupaaza bamujja ku katonda Angelina omuwala eyali omulungi eyali omulokole takyayagala manya Mukama yamukoowa n'enjaga ginywa omutima bagumenya bwe yaweereza tete basimba Angelina yafuuka kibanda taba mu bibaala yafuuka mubanda Angelina teyalinda bisuubizo bya Mukama Angelina teyalinda bisuubizo bya Mukama Angelina teyalinda bisuubizo bya Mukama Angelina Hallelujah. Good morning, Uganda. This song is called Byanzikiza. Byanzikiza was a girl. Sokera nasana era yali mukazi wa Damasiko Sesanga samanya kyabawula tenasanga baketimizi nga bamukwana yagenda konewa kupibulayi naye omuzungu yamugoba walayi obamulabako Kosovo nga pepeya ne Ediboyi we Kosovo bwe yaveeyo yatomera Laneke kuba yawulira kyali yakolamu ebisente sirimba ebintu bizibu mpulira bagamba eri bulamu ye yamusokamu ye golifiksawo nakikwatamu ekizodda siraba emikolo bwagirinyamu yagerako ewansonde erijonimeri bweyewase kintu nakirukamu bwe yasangira tayita sikuteesa ngerawo manyi Mukama yamanyi okuteesa sirimba omwana yandaga zidoola yandaga siringiddemu yandaga ebisente naye buli lunaku abeera mu bibaala tayagala kusaba sula mu biduula omusanga n'abasajja bali mu bufunda omitima gyali migumu teyalina bitengo benagendako ewetu namusanga mu nzikiza ono yaŋŋamba takolagana namusana kuba ye yakola nakizikiza omuwano ayagala byanzikiza anyumirwa byanzikiza tayagala musana ayagala kizikiza ayagala abalokole omugwano gw'abalokole nga baserebu ayagala abalokole kirabike yamutuma abalokole n'omuwala ayagala byanzikiza nyumirwa byanzikiza tayagala musana ayagala kizikiza ayagala abalokole mukwano gw'abalokole nga baserebu kirabike yamutuma abalokole kigasa kiwa kulya enseno n'ofiirwawo omwoyo gwo ebintu by'enseno biggwawo tebikujja Katonda gwo wandiba nga tolina kayumba nga tolina kamotoka nga tolina kasente ebintu bya Mukama by'amaanyi byamusana biba byalaali ebyamusana biba byalaali ebyamukama biba kwalaali ebyamukama biba byalaali ebya Yesu biba kwalaali biba byalaali ebyamukama biba byalaali oh na 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 na.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*4#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
This PRENO, as the name prescribes, is the project for restoration of livelihood in northern region. So it was designed to support the population in order to implement the national programs of wealth creation, improving household income, and this is done through supporting agriculture, and by supporting agriculture, you support seed production, training of farmers, mindset change, and even it went ahead to have components of food security grants, whereby families were given grants to be able to improve their food security. But there was also community-based natural resources grants, which were given to families to put in place woodlots, which would help them to reduce on killing the vegetation and deforestation, looking for energy or for firewood.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
This weekend on UBC.
I was in Hong Kong, and as she's closing her eyes praying, I walked in and just sat in front of her. She felt the power of God fall upon her, and God told her, your husband is in front of you. So she opens her eyes and sees me, and I'm black, and she says, no.
In Germany, sometimes some people are a bit like low-key racist.
We who went there for the wedding in Cape Verde, we had a problem with that. Language barrier, and you put on a kanzu, they ask you why you're putting on a dress.
But the main issue is God. You have to pray.
And the cultural difference between Asia and Africa is far stretched.
If you understand someone despite them being white or African, something can work out.
It's easy to adjust to European cultures, easy to adjust to American culture, because this is what you're seeing.
Not been much of Asia.
Not much of Asia. Their culture is quite different.
In Africa, there is this male-dominated world where women are all restored solo.
God told me, you need to stay in Hong Kong. And she was there. She said, I believe you'll bless my city.
This weekend on UBC.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV Channel 371, Star Times Channel 201, Zuku TV Channel 20, and Azam TV Channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
You are still watching Good Morning Uganda Friday special. My name is Chantal Olive Akandinda and I am here with Jerome Paul Sonko. We are going to be having a conversation, movies, and we're going to be delving straight into streamlining the movie industry. And we have seen this over time. Back then, the only, I would choose to call it local, the only seemingly local content in movies that you would watch would not be Ugandan. It would be Nigerian. So those who have grown through the era of Chinigeria and everything that entailed Chinigeria, you know what I'm talking about. You could sit down with that person and they would list for you a number of Nigerian movie actors and actresses. However, we do know that the Ugandan movie industry has really grown, and we do have a number of producers, a number of production houses, a number of companies that have come on board to boost this movie industry. We have a number of awards as well that are in place, like we're going to be discussing as moments go by. So please do stick around and do share your views on how we can streamline the movie industry in Uganda, because I do believe things to do with talent and giftings are things that could actually earn us some good money. I mean, look at countries that are earning very well from football. It's a talent, it's a skill. You know, look at countries that are earning very well from the music industry, just even the movie industry in the West. So what I'm talking about is this economy can grow, this country can grow if we, put our energy on things that do not require us to do too much. Talent is talent. The most you have to do is practice, train, and make it better. That's the most that you have to do. Yeah. So right now, we are seeing the movie industry growing every single day, every single moment. A number of players, talk about Matthew Nawiso. You've seen a series on Pearl Magic Prime. You have seen the likes of Nathan Magola that have given us another series that is very good in the country. And we are talking about these series and movies that are airing on the likes of Pearl Magic. This is multi-choice, you understand? So we have seen this growth, come over time. We are still hoping that it keeps growing and, taking us to other levels. And this very morning, we are going to be having this very conversation with a very talented Ugandan who is into the movie industry. He's a copywriter, he's a movie maker, and himself is an actor. And a number of things that we're going to be breaking down, but we're going to be discussing majorly how we're going to be streamlining the movie industry in our country, Uganda. And I'm very excited because someone who is in the creative industry, someone who is in this industry, I look forward to how things can run. I look forward to growing with this industry. But for now, I'd like to first check on Sonko. I would like to get your point of view on how far we have gone when it comes to the movie industry in our country, Uganda.
I for one love the introduction you've made from the Nigeria days and everything. I think also looking back in the early 2000s, late 1990s, where I think the only Ugandan movies that we're used to, the Ugandan kind of movies we're used to, were the ones by the Ebonies, the Bakayimbira drama actors who had actually shaped it around the local Ugandan stories. But surprisingly, what I've loved about everything is that in the past 10 years, I wouldn't even want to use 5, we've seen the level of production grow. The storylines are quite different.
Right.
We have phenomenal actors and actresses in the industry, and everything just speaks volumes when you look at how best content creation in our country has grown. And of course, I would definitely be giving kudos to the writers, the production, or what you could say the producers, the script, writers, and everybody behind these movies. I think they've done a very, very huge job to make sure that we are where we are currently as the Ugandan movie industry as a whole. And I should say I'm really happy to see where the movie industry is, because for now you can easily sit for one entire day to watch series made by Ugandans, to watch movies made by Ugandans, and you will even recommend to your friends out of the country. So I think it is something that we can really be proud of.
Tell you what, Sonko, I had a chance to be part of Prestige, and what I expected was, what I thought I was going to receive was different from what I found. The production was good, there's a lot of professionalism, different from what I thought it would be, because you've seen the videos that make rounds on social media, where the guns sound different, the blood that spills looks different. You've seen all those things. Thank you. They call it what? Wakaliwood. Thank you. I think I was looking for that word. So I was able to make a comparison, and I realized we have actually grown. Same applies to just recently, I was on set, there is a series called Beloved, and it was another different set altogether. There is a lot of work that is being put in, and I'm saying very well done to the actors. I mean now not the talent, but the actors in the movie industry that are making it special for us. So this morning in the house, we do have Maurice Mugisha, and he's a Ugandan actor, director, photographer, model, reality TV star, and a number of things that we are going to be discussing this morning. And we are very excited to have him on set. And I'm going to say good morning.
Hey, morning. Nice to see you.
Good to see you. It's been a while, very many years.
Yeah.
How have you been?
So been well.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll dive straight into the movie industry. I did an introduction of you, but I feel like I've not done it justice.
Really?
You might want to introduce yourself to someone and do this justice.
I hope the hat is not too heavy for me. My name is Maurice Mugisha Herbert. I'm a filmmaker. I used to be an actor, gone copywriter, filmmaker, and still a photographer. Yeah, and a lover of life, of course. Yeah.
We are glad to have you in studio this morning, and we are hoping that this conversation will definitely be as interesting as I hope it will be, because if you're someone that is into talent development, someone who is into the movie industry, someone who is looking to get there, this is a conversation you would like to be part of, and we are talking about streamlining the movie industry. But before that, I have seen a number of nominations.
Yeah.
You know, you've had a number of films that have been out there, and I would like to know how many so far for you are out there?
Currently, I'm still pushing Tembele.
Right, yes.
Tembele is the film that won, it had 13 nominations in the Uganda Film Festival. Then it won 6 awards, including Best Actor and Best Film. It has won in Dakar Film Festival in Morocco.
Right.
Dakar is a Francophone festival. It actually has a lot of European films, as opposed to, even if it's Morocco, because it's almost close to, you know, the other end of the continent. So it has won Grand Prix. Grand Prix is like the best award.
Right.
Yeah, and don't forget Tembele is in the local dialect. Yeah, because I keep myself onto the indigenous as opposed to the English. Yeah, then it managed to scoop Best Cinematography in the AMAs, that's the African Movie Academy Awards. Then it was given the best official selection in the Vue d'Afrique Festival. That's a film festival in Canada, Quebec. And yeah, the story is endless. It's still going on, it's going strong, yeah.
The reason as to why I wanted us to capture that is because you have walked the journey.
Yeah.
And I think your first, what I would call the first major appearance in the industry or in the eyes of the public was in 2013. And I would like to know, comparing back then and today, the movie industry back then and the movie industry today, what would you have to say about that?
Well, starting off, I'm a scholar of music, dance and drama and cinematography at bachelor's. So I'm coming from a background of a photographer. My father was a photographer then, the guys that used to do the analog cameras. So I was instituted into this whole framing, photography, creative industry as a child. Well, my peers were playing with Nintendo games and football. I was playing with all the Yashica cameras. So to answer your question, after uni, I quickly got into stage. I was doing popular theatre at the Bat Valley cinema. Yeah, so I got a chance to rub shoulders with the men, the hey men of them days, the late Honorable Katolu Wama, rest his soul. Then Ashraf Semo Gere. As a young kid, I was already rubbing shoulders with those people. So I'm one of those lucky people that had, who grew up seeing the vision, you get the point, as much as I was very young. Yeah, of course I had my foot in fashion, actively in photography, then also on stage, then also being able to go to school and doing art. So that's basically that whole collaboration, got me into the field earlier. So kudos to those older men who were there, the Alex Mukulus, who are great influencers then, who influenced us as filmmakers to date. They were kings on stage. So I will not say that they really had the opportunities that we're actually enjoying right now, because right now we have a lot of television stations. Look here, we're at UBC and we are here for hours to talk about film, which is almost it's enormous. It's like a huge chance. Then they didn't have it. And considering the perception of the audience then, I think those ones that saw theatre still went and watched theatre. And I can assure you that the turn-up in theatre was humongous. I mean, those people who love talent would go and watch the shows. But now things have flipped a little bit. The opportunity has become bigger. Someone can just start off a drama on the street on Kampala Road and push it to UBC or any other channel to be watched. And I mean, people are actually cashing in. Right. Those days you would never tell anyone that you're an actor, and people would believe, people would actually think you're a comedian or you're a joker.
Would actually think you're not
professional, you actually never went to school. But now you can't dare say that. Right. So on the flip side, I think we're having a blast. You can see the TV series that you just mentioned. Right. People are having a good time, people are earning money, people are looking after their families. Okay. I know people who dropped corporate jobs to go and do movies. Yeah, you know some of those people.
Maurice, you've actually mentioned about university.
Yes.
I've seen quite a number of talents groomed right from institutions and universities.
Yeah.
How hard was it then, and how easy is it now, if you to compare the levels? Because currently we are seeing young actors who are breaking through.
Yes.
Back then we're used to seeing mature. You've mentioned the likes of the Alex, Mukula. Then you've also, Alex Mukulu. Then you've also, I did mention, to me, we used to see the Ebonies and Bakaimbila drama actors. Trust me, those are people who are either in their 30s or during that time, or way higher. But now we are seeing even 20-year-olds into the movie industry. How do we come to this, and how fast has it developed?
Actually, it's a second time, that's what I can say. Earlier on, it was always about experience.
Okay.
People who never probably had a chance at something else. I will not say that they actually just didn't have a chance, but it's those people who had like the hard heads, and remember, you had to be grown up to actually intensify on being an actor. So because of the status quo, the scenario at the time, only the grown-ups were able to actually stand that pressure. And remember, it was theater those days. Those that actually managed to appear on telly. You talked about the Ebonies.
Yes.
That's Mr. Who? I won't mention his name. Actually took on only bigger people. Remember Bossa?
Yes.
He's like a household name. So basically, you had to be that. And usually the people who wrote the plays were also much older. So because things have flipped and times have changed, radical, you know what it means. So many factors, a combination of factors has actually created a favorable ground for young people. Now, when you have young people writing films, being producers like me, I actually employ young people because, you know, young people have a way they understand each other. And, you know, with film, you never really have to, what can I say? You never really have to segregate that this one is older or this one is younger. It's just about the story.
Yes.
Then also, I will not cast you if you're not talented. Like, it has nothing to do with this or that. It has nothing to do with that. So what I can say is that this era has managed to create a favorable ground for younger people, so much so that there are no excuses.
Right.
That's why I see, actually kudos to UCC, the Uganda Communication Commission, that managed to create the Uganda Film Festival. The Uganda Film Festival is a platform that showcases all Ugandan films, even if you come from Barara, Karukarunji, you come from Nakapiripirit, and you're a filmmaker. There is that fertile stage for you to actually grow and exhume your talent. You get the point. So it gives a chance to not only the grown-ups, but even the younger people. Yeah.
My question would be, you've talked about talent as one of the things that you look out for when you are casting. What other things, how do you even identify this talent and know that this person is going to work for me?
Well, that's quite simple. Over time, you realize that art is the trade. That you're not going to be selling clothes, you're not going to be selling timber. So you actually have your mind focused or fixed on that particular craft. If you have a script, a movie script, and you know you're either going to shoot it in maybe 6 months or 4 months, depending on how swift your, how swift your budgets are. The next thing that is very important and what makes a film or a product is casting, what they call casting. Casting is that process where you pick on characters, but usually we call for auditions. Most people call for auditions. When you call for auditions, there is no you can turn up here for an audition or for an interview, what you call interview in corporate circles. There is no you can come in front of cameras to try out a role, then you tell me you've come to play. But then even if all of you are very anxious, all of you are hoping to get some money, or all of you are willing to be part of the production, I'm looking for just one character for one role.
Right.
So imagine we have only 6 roles.
So you have to come with your A game.
And you're like 100 or 200 people. You must warm up for that part. Yes. You have to show me that you need it so badly. That it is your lifeline. You get the point.
Right.
So because if you don't do that,
aggressive.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to be at your A game like you put it. Because there are over 30 people who need that one role.
Right.
Now speaking of character, a lead character or protagonist, then that is actually, you have to sharpen yourself. You have to be on your A game. You actually even must have to find out who the character traits of that role.
Right. And then sit
exactly. If I'm looking for a storekeeper or a gardener, you have to look like, immediately you step in like that.
I have to look like a gardener.
You have to look like a gardener. Don't step in looking like
I'm in heels, I'm in
a rich kid. Then you tell me you're going to morph into a gardener when we get on set. That's like a practical joke. So you go the other way, then the guys who actually look like that part will go, even just before we even get to the lines. So it's usually, you know these things when you
say them.
Yeah.
Well, we are still discussing streamlining the movie industry in our country, Uganda, and you can engage us on the X app. You can go in there, type UBC GMU, and you'll find us, and you'll be able to share your comments. However, you can also go ahead and let us know what you think on our WhatsApp number, and it will be displayed on your screen, and you'll be able to tell us what you think when it comes to the movie industry. I already have some comments that are coming through, and I'm actually looking at people blaming parents, talking about how parents are not supportive when it comes to the movie industry. But someone here says, "Good morning, Uganda. Parents, particularly in Uganda, need to be sensitized about talent. Parents play a role in the backsliding of the movie industry. They need to be taught that not everyone who joins movies or music or football is a failure or a muyaye." And I think Maurice mentioned this, that back then, every time you would say you're an actor or an actress, automatically you were considered as unserious with your life. You couldn't even take a man home who was an actor or even a musician, and they would accept them because they'd be like, what is that person doing with their life? Same applies to a lady. She's a model. What is she doing with her life? Exactly. And then someone else also says, "Good morning. In my view, I think the actors should use a common language which can be understood by majority Ugandan and international. For example, English, not only Luganda." I would like to disagree with this person, but I think Maurice would be the best person to comment on this very person's point of view. What is your point of view on the fact that the person unfortunately did not leave a name? Okay. Let me see if I can fetch it. Yeah, this is Charles. Yeah, Charles, the name is Charles. You know how they write the WhatsApp names sometimes? It's interesting. But this is Charles saying they need to use a common language, understood like internationally, English, internationally and locally. That's what he says. Yeah.
Actually, to answer that point, thank you very much for your WhatsApp and your comments. You know, Uganda is multicultural, right? Yes. We have almost 20-something tribes. Right?
Well, over time we've realized like they're about 50,
you see?
56, yes.
You get the point. So let's imagine I'm pushing for a target in the northern area, and you're a Muganda or a Musoga, and my target audience is the northern. Allow me to call it the northern hemisphere, region. Just to use the Kawad, like the northern region. So you have to make sure you have either innuendos that are from either Acholi or Lugbara or Itesot or Kinyankore, whatever region that you're actually targeting. So I really disagree that we must have a common language, common languages and common language, because I'll give you an example. I have done Tembele. I did it in, the lady was a Munyankore, and the man was a Muganda. You get the point. Right. Here I was trying to strike a balance. Look at cross marriages these days. You find a Musoga marrying a Mtoro. You find a Munyankore marrying a Muganda. Right. So if you can easily peep through that homestead and what language they use, you'll be surprised that they speak this other language and you find the father.
Mix them up.
Exactly. So that's how we're in a state where all languages actually make sense. You get the point. So also, if you look at Nigeria, look at the Nollywood industry, you find the Igbo, they even have a television, what people say Igbo. The Igbo people, you find the other tribes, people acting different tribes. But the only powerful thing about them is that they have the pidgin English, which almost like cuts across. Right. And we haven't had a chance to have pidgin or a certain formulated. As much as people speak a lot of Luganda in Kampala, and I've had people in other areas trying to forge around Luganda and all, we just need to understand that the most important thing we have to do is to push for proper films. Films that represent our cultures, because for me when I look at a Muganda and a Mchiga, I mean, I don't see a difference. Right. I really don't see a difference. If I look at a Musoga or a Mtoro, I think we're all the same, we're all Ugandans. So the whole tribal thing should actually go far away from us.
And let's look at it from the angle of this is our country and we are embracing every bit of our country. Just to let you know, our dearest viewer, you can text us on WhatsApp and the number is 07096025592. You get to have this conversation with us. You get to let us know what you think. Also, if you have a message for Maurice, you can also send it through. I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can, deliver the message. More comments coming in. Someone here says, "Good morning, Uganda. This is Boyd Mubita from Zambia capital city. I'm a fan of UBC, blah, blah, blah. Thank you so much for watching from Zambia. And then Remy says that he is watching. Thank you for watching. Let us know what you think. Some of these people are not Ugandans. And I'm hoping that you've had a chance to look at some of the Ugandan content. We are talking about movies. But also there is a trailer that has been running, you know, on TV. And I'm sure you have seen. Let us know just from that trailer what you think. You know, what that shows and what that gives different from Hollywood, like Sanko put it. That particular trailer, when you see it, what comes to your mind? Personally, I see a lot of work that has been put in. And here is what I want to ask you, Maurice. The time you were writing, you wrote Stain, yes, right? The time you were writing Stain and Tembele, did you ever at one point get to a point where you doubt and ask yourself, is it going to get to where I want it to get? Because we are now comparing, if we come back to Africa, we are comparing Uganda with say, South Africa and Nigeria.
Yes.
Did you, did you reach a point and you're like, maybe I shouldn't?
Okay. Chantal, thank you very much. This is what I'll tell you. Each time you want to launch something, even if you're trying to maybe sell something or you're trying to start up a business, the doubts are always there.
Yes.
Yeah? But as a creative or as a filmmaker, coming from an environment like Uganda, where film has not really been, you know, embraced so well, and of course shooting towards budgets, that's really like our biggest problem. So I'm giving you factors that make people doubt themselves.
Yeah.
I come from a background where I mint money from whatever I do, my other side gigs, then inject money in my personal film. They're like personal projects. They're not really like sponsored. It's not like someone just waved a flag, hello, and here is a bag for you. No. So basically, yes, the doubts are always there. But I mean, this is you trying to drive through a wall, a concrete wall. And it also takes maturity to actually think of doing something in an industry where you're not so sure things are going to work out. But I thank God that I made that trailer running is a film called Stain. It's a story about SGBV and human rights.
Right.
And where we shot it is called Kasese. I think you saw Lake Katwe. There's a bit of Queen Elizabeth.
Yes.
Those areas of Kasese. And that's a red spot for gender-based violence in Uganda. I didn't know. Right. I don't know if you know. It's
yes.
Yeah, so it takes quite a lot of research. So having a story like that being acted in an area. So for people who work for organizations like UNDP, WHO, when they see, they actually easily fuse in. But then the story is a home story. It's a homegrown story. It's a story that touches me and you. So it's actually not anything far-fetched. It's not fiction, it's not what. Because I'm the kind of writer or director that targets themes or thematic relevancies that are actually protruding like a swollen thumb in society. So I am that kind of filmmaker. So yes, doubts are always there. But I'm glad the film was taken up by, it won Best Performer, AMA's Africa Movie Academy Awards in 2021. That's quite an old movie. Then it was taken up by UNDP and Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. Right. So I will tell you that the government sees the good things, the good work that all creatives do. Just the way you see big projects happening on TV. I heard you talking of TV series. Yes, those people put in a lot, trust me. They rip themselves apart to produce the product. Right. You get the point. So yes, doubts will always be there. But my take to that particular person or dreamer or aspiring filmmaker is that you have to shoot your shots. Okay. Yeah, really, because it's a free world, man.
Right.
Hey.
Maurice, you know, you've mentioned about how hard it is to get profits out of these movies. Really, brings me to, you know, to a kind of curiosity in regards to the actors and actresses you use. A couple of stories that I've actually had is that at times actors are paid per shoot. Then others are paid after the movie. First, take us through this kind of payments, because as much as we love the passion, you know, things have entirely changed with our kind of generation, whereby people are getting into a passion but as long as it's still paying them.
Yeah.
First, take us through the monetary terms.
One thing I noted from you is the fact of money. Right? That's a very important piece. Yeah. So I'll tell you, coming from stage, as a stage actor, popular theater, popular, local. Local. For me, I find local cool. I don't know about you.
No, it is. It is very.
It even has a symbol. It's like local. So let's not abuse the word. I first acted for free. Most of the times, I just wanted to be around the big boys in the game.
Rub shoulders.
And I totally respect that. To actually pronounce yourself or elevate yourself somewhere, you have to be with the right people. Right. Then it's never always about money. I'll underline that.
Okay.
It's never about money. You cannot. I can't walk in here in UBC to do a refresher, or what is that thing they call after students have gone out of school?
Internship.
I can't come here and I ask for money. Now I've spent 2 days here. Where is my money?
Where is my money?
I have to hang around with the right people, the crew, the producers of the show,
so that you understand
the game. You get the point. So that's what I did. I never really earned money for it. But with time, I kept pushing. And when I actually morphed into a credible writer or director or actor, then of course the whole money thing was inevitable. But I'll speak at the time right now where things have changed. Those days things were a bit even to to be precise. Actually, when your parents doubt you, you also doubt yourself. Exactly. You can't befriend the ones who have money, or you avoid the ones who
they look at you as
and they're like, you're a joker. You're like, you're a joker. You must have something must have gone wrong.
Supposed to be doing the corporate jobs, or you be a Philip.
But now things have flipped. The coin has flipped.
It is now the entertainment that is
exactly. So now there's entertainment and there's a price to it. Direct. No negotiations. You can't have me there showing up and you're telling me, here is a glass of water, good luck, reach home safe. No, you can't do that. Even with my particular private films, there is no actor who will come out and tell you, I wasn't paid satisfactorily, because by the time I think of coming up with a project,
then you have a budget
for it. I first sweet talk you because I want you to be
ready.
Exactly, ready. But now after sweet talking, speak the language.
Speak the language.
Our time seems to be fast spent. I would really love for us to have this conversation continuously. Unfortunately, our time is fast spent, but I do have some more comments that are coming in that I would love to read. But as I read the comments, you can be preparing for us what project you have coming, but also a word or two on how we can, like 3 pointers that we can use to streamline our movie industry. But for now, let's look into the comments. Someone says, good morning. Thanks for the show. I am Tumukunde Bekan from Munyonyo. Thanks for the great work. Thank you for watching. And someone says, hello, I have always wished to become an actor. What are the requirements to join the movie industry as a beginner here in Uganda? And someone says he's watching from South Sudan. That is Francis. Thank you so much for watching. Please do share your views on how we can streamline the movie industry in our country. Back to you, Maurice. How do we streamline this industry in a few minutes, and also the projects that we should look out for?
Actually, streamlining, first of all, this one I'm going to say as a filmmaker, let's find, there's a brother who wrote a WhatsApp and said, let's find a common language. I'll use the same word, but to mean something else. Speaking, let me start from the top, because usually a top to bottom approach. I'm calling upon the government to actually give us incentives on how to produce better quality movies that can compete with, I won't say Nollywood, with Bollywood, Hollywood, and the bigger guys out there, so that we can be able to compete favorably on higher platforms. I forgot to tell you that Tembele is the very first Ugandan film to go into the Oscars. And before we didn't have that opportunity, but now you see opportunities are coming closer. As much as things are tough, there's still people who still see, like for example, I'm on TV, people are watching from abroad, and some of those people are businessmen. They think film is the real deal. So basically, if we're able, if we're a producer and a filmmaker out there, try to produce films that emulate the Ugandan standards, the Ugandan culture. And don't forget, film does not only work for people who only look for entertainment, but film is for pushes tourism, it pushes national agendas, to mention but a few. To talk about my next projects, I have a film called Kenyana. It's going to be shot in the West, more about the Hima culture. I think I'll stop on that. Then I have another one called Dunia. It's set in the 70s, but I'm still seeing how I can be able to, hire the right cast, probably use a crew, maybe tap into co-productions from abroad to actually have it like, proper standard. And yeah, so I have those two projects that I'm looking at to work on maybe next year or in the future to come.
All right. Thank you so much. We have been interacting with Maurice Mugisha, and we are excited for the projects that are coming up. Personally, I am. And if you haven't watched Tembele, if you haven't watched Stain, to mention but a few, you might want to go catch up on them because, well, Uganda is doing pretty well for itself. Thank you so much for coming and for sharing with us. We look forward to probably having you another time to discuss further some of the projects and, of course, a lot more on how we can grow as an industry. Let's get into a very short break. We will be right back.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
It's Freaky Friday from Airtel. Buy or gift. Buy or gift.
Get freaky too. Dial *100*0# to load a Freaky Friday bundle for you to enjoy the best offers on voice and data.
To buy a bundle for friends and family, dial *100*4#. Freaky Friday with Airtel. Buy or gift a bundle today. Dial *100*0# to get started.
Airtel. A reason to imagine.
This PRENO, as the name prescribes, is the project for restoration of livelihood in northern region. So it was designed to support the population in order to implement the national programs of wealth creation, improving household income, and this is done through supporting agriculture, and by supporting agriculture, you support seed production, training of farmers, mindset change, and even it went ahead to have components of food security grants, whereby families were given grants to be able to improve their food security. But there was also community-based natural resources grants, which were given to families to put in place woodlots, which would help them to reduce on killing the vegetation and deforestation, looking for energy or for firewood.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
This weekend on UBC.
I was in Hong Kong, and as she's closing her eyes praying, I walked in and just sat in front of her. She felt the power of God fall upon her, and God told her, your husband is in front of you. So she opens her eyes and sees me, and I'm black, and she says, no.
In Germany, sometimes some people are a bit like low-key racist.
We who went there for the wedding in Cape Verde, we had a problem with that. Language barrier, and you put on a kanzu, they ask you why you're putting on a dress.
But the main issue is God. You have to pray.
And the cultural difference between Asia and Africa is far stretched.
If you understand someone despite them being white or African, something can work out.
It's easy to adjust to European cultures, easy to adjust to American culture, because this is what you're seeing.
Not been much of Asia.
Not much of Asia. Their culture is quite different.
In Africa, there is this male-dominated world that where women are all restored solo.
God told me, you need to stay in Hong Kong. And she was there. She said, I believe you'll bless my city.
This weekend on UBC.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Morning Uganda. The next song is called Nela. I've fallen in love with Jesus again and again. Enjoy the song. I've been falling in love again and again. Mukama yamanyi okuteesa ate yateesezza luno. Nafunye omwana w'omuloodi ate nga mwana wa muzungu. Nawonya abawala b'e Uganda. Omukwano gwa mpaka muwadde muvuga sipiidi. Guno omukwano gw'ono omwana temuli sayansi. Wakuba essimu wajja kulabeko bebita z'aba transport. Ono omwana ze yaŋŋambye ntwala wa kitaawe kulabako bakadde nange fuke mwana weeka. Era ne olaba nkyakyankya kubanga namusudde bulijjo gwe mbadde ndootaayo. Ono gano masaavu gennyini nafunye omwana kirasi makula. Nze gwe baali bamenya omutima ebiwundu byawonye kati era laavu yennuma. Kirabika ndi mulaavu again. Bubububu ebyaddala ndi mulaavu neera neera. Nagudde mu mukwano neera. Nafunye njagala neera. Guno omukwano gw'ono Yesu gwa lubeerera. Tanseera tampera mu kabeera. Njagala nga nnyongeza anyongera mama. Nagudde mu mukwano neera. Nafunye njagala neera nange. Guno omukwano gw'ono mwana gwa lubeerera. Tanseera tampera mu kabeera. Njagala nga nnyongeza. Guno omukwano gwantuka ewala mutima yankuba tageti masasi ku nnyama. Era simwongeza ku balala kubanga ebiba binene bwe muyita bimala. Ono omwana gwe mpaana teri mulala nze Yesu gwe mbagamba nno. Ono atasosola mu mawanga abalungi n'ababi ffene ewuwe gy'otusanga. Guno omukwano ddala kyogoba nange. Ogwamulesa ebitiibwa mukulu nakka ne bamukomerera liweerere. Omukwano gwo ogwa Yesu. Omukwano gwo ogwa Yesu. Nagudde mu mukwano neera. Oh nana mama nafunye njagala neera nange. guno omukwano gono Yesu gwaluberera tansera tambera mukabeera njagala anyongera mama nera hello, the last song is called Kijja Kugwa. Yeah. Kyonna kyoyitamu kijja kugwa mu linnya lya Yesu. I know you're going through a lot. Maybe you're passing through the fire. Wanyolina ebibuuzo munda ky'obulamu naye tebutereera. Wano omusajja yakusuubiza embaga n'otokyamusa ne twesunga embaga. Kyokka tuwulira biwuliro omusajja yakulekawo tubisoma mu mawulire. Omutima gwo bagumenye nnyo kafirimuko katiisa nnyo. Wava ne Uganda ogende Bulayo naye byagana banke kuli bulye kuwenja landirodiwo naye manya kubanja naye tewali mbeera nene Katonda gyatatambala kimanye tewali lusozi luwanvu Katonda bataseeteza anyway tulina Katonda alagira omuyaga ne guteeka byonna ebyo byoyitamu manyi bikola bujulizi olw'enkya manyi kyoyitamu kinyiga naye nkugambye n'ekyo maziga go kaali gamala ku luno bikwasa Yesu manya kigwa mu Yesu kigwayi manya kigwa kyoyitamu kijja kugwa sirika mama tokaaba onanana wefuna Yesu wekwate Yesu akyusa embeera era teriyo ki alaide bwenna mufona ebyali bikutte n'ebita siringa bwenna liiruli kati ndina beta yaponya nenaku y'okusaabira ddata yampa nekata kati nvoga saabira mafuta bwenna mufona ebyali bikutte n'ebita siringa bwenna liiruli kati ndina beta yaponya nenaku y'okusaabira ddata yampa nekata kati nvoga saabira mafuta manyi kyoyitamu kinyiga naye nkugambye n'ekyo maziga gukabye mala ku luno bikwasa Yesu manya kigwa mu Yesu kigwa manya kigwa kyoyitamu kijja kugwa manya kigwa mu Yesu kigwa manya kigwa kyonna kyoyitamu kijja kugwa kigwa mu Yesu kigwa kyoyitamu kijja kugwa mama naweyo kigwa ebikunyiga bijja kugwa ebikukabya amaziga mu kireyo kyoyitamu kijja kugwa ebikunyiga ekiro nga weebase bijja kugwa mu Yesu mu lyato mwali kijja kugwa kyoyitamu kijja kugwa Mukama biraba bijja kugwa kijja kugwa kyonna kyoyitamu.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
One-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
A weekly face-to-face conversation focusing on accountability, inspiration, information, and sensitization of the public from the various sources such as inspirational profiles.
Having a disability is not inability.
Every Friday 9 p.m. it's one-on-one with Michael Jordan Lukomwa.
Don't you see anywhere that you would give a credit in the fight against COVID?
My role as the owner of the country is not to, be preoccupied by giving credit to my server.
We have said that if we are to talk to General Museveni, there must be certain conditions in place.
Is it true that you paid 5 million shillings to MPs that voted for?
Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial *165*3# or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
This weekend on UBC.
I was in Hong Kong, and as she's closing her eyes praying, I walked in and just sat in front of her. She felt the power of God fall upon her, and God told her, your husband is in front of you. So she opens her eyes and sees me, and I'm black, and she says, no.
In Germany, sometimes some people are a bit like low-key racist.
We who went there for the wedding in Cape Verde, we had a problem with that language barrier, and you put on a kanzu, they ask you why you're putting on a dress.
But the main issue is God. You have to pray.
And the cultural difference between Asia and Africa is far stretched.
If you understand someone despite them being white or African, something can work out.
It's easy to adjust to European cultures, easy to adjust to American culture, because this is what you're seeing.
Not been much of Asia.
Not much of Asia. Their culture is quite different.
In Africa, there is this male-dominated world that where women are all restored to solo.
God told me, you need to stay in Hong Kong. And she was there. She said, I believe you'll bless my city.
This weekend on UBC.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
You are still watching UBC's Good Morning Uganda Friday special, and it's time for us to take a look into our movie recommendations for the weekend. If you are hoping to catch them maybe in the cinema, or you are hoping to catch them from home, I will be letting you know what you can catch up on depending on what you love to watch. Thank you for being with us, of course, from 6:30 in the morning. We're going all the way till 9 in the morning. Friday is indeed a special day because we get to launch you into the weekend, and Sonko is busy entertaining us in studio. But away from that, I do have recommendations like I mentioned, and God is a Bullet is one of the movies that I am recommending for you this morning, and that this is an American action thriller film. If you are an action thriller lover, this is the movie I would recommend for you to watch. Now, this was released in the United States by Wayward Entertainment, and this was on the 23rd of June 2023. What is the plot in here? The film follows Detective Bob Hightower, who finds his ex-wife murdered and his teenage daughter kidnapped by an insidious satanic cult. Hightower takes matters into his own hands and infiltrates the secretive cult with the help of the cult's only female victim escapee, Kes Hardin. Hightower and Hardin team up with the ferryman, a shadowy social renegade, to save Bob's daughter and to find closure for Hardin from the cult and his maniacal leader, Cyrus Cast. Let's take a look at this trailer.
Hello? I think I know who took your daughter.
She was in a cult, for Christ's sake. You really think this person is trustworthy? I lost my wife. I lost my daughter.
Forget about the authorities tracking your daughter down. If you want her back, you gotta get her yourself.
Where's my daughter? She was alive 2 weeks ago.
If she had to go through what I did when they took me, it will be like nothing you can imagine.
say anything about tattoos.
Imagine if I showed up at your little church looking like this.
Really shouldn't be following us, man. Stupid. Now you're gonna show the ladies some respect.
They bring children here. In the end, they're killed. They keep some like me.
Let's send Cyrus a message. You got a death wish? Where's my daughter?
Well, that is God is a Bullet right there. And the cast in here, we have Nicolaj Costa, also known as Bob. He's acting as Bob Hightower. We have Micah Monroe as Kes Hadin. We have Jamie Foxx as the ferryman, January Jones as Maureen Bacon, and Carl Glusman as Cyrus, David Thornton as Arthur Nasi, Paul Johansson as John Lee, Jonathan Tucker as Errol Gray, Ethan Suplee as Gutter, Garrett Waring as Wood, Brendan Sexton III as Granny Boy, among others. The movie is God is a Bullet. Now, if you are someone that fears horrors and anything close to it, maybe this is not recommended for you because of what you have just seen. But if you're into thrillers and action, like me, definitely this is a must-watch this weekend. Away from that, we'll cross over and see what we are also going to be recommending for you. I do have The Collective that I am also recommending this morning. This is an American action film written by Matt Rogers and Jason James, directed by Tom DeNucci, and starring Lucas Steele, Ruby Rose, Mercedes Vanado, Paul Ben Victor, Tyrese Gibson, and Don Johnson. It was released on August 4th, 2023. A group of righteous assassins called The Collective Texts aim at a highly sophisticated human trafficking ring that's backed by a network of untouchable billionaires. With their backs against the wall, The Collective has no choice but to put its most important mission in the hands of a rookie assassin. The trailer.
Work for the DA. You watch enough guilty people walk free, and eventually you want to go out there and take care of them yourself.
The Collective are getting close to finding us.
Want the Collective dead. Dead.
Found him. I'll send some guys.
We speak for the innocent. Judge, jury, and executioner.
Let's make him fall.
We have a problem.
That's well done.
We're in a league of our own.
You blew up my house, Sam.
Very interesting movie right there. For some reason, every time Tyrese is on set or is casted, there is always an element of humor in there. And if you want to catch it, it is action, and a little bit of humor is inclusive. So if you love to strike a balance with those, this is something I'd recommend for you to watch. Now, we have Lucas Steele as Sam. Yeah, that's the rookie that we are talking about. We have Ruby Rose as Daisy, Don Johnson as Liam. We have Mercedes Vanando as Nikita, Tyrese Gibson as Hugo, Paul Ben Victor as Miro, Michael Zucola as Christopher, Eric Lutz as George, and this cast was put together in 2022, and this movie was released on August this year, which was, I think, August 4th. Yes, that's when it was released. Yes, 4th August. And you can as well catch up with it. Like I said, if you love action, but also with a little bit of some humor in there, this is the movie for you to watch. And the other movie that I will be recommending this morning is The Passenger. This is a 2023 American horror thriller film directed by Carter Smith and written by Jack Stanley. Now, in March 2022, The Passenger was announced as part of Blumhouse Television and XP's TV movie deal, with Carter Smith directing, with Jack Stanley writing the screenplay, with Kyle Gallner, Johnny Bashtold and Lisa Well starring in the film. Principal photography on the film began in April 2022 in New Orleans. Let's take a look at the details in the thriller.
Slow down. I don't normally get visits from former students.
I needed to tell you how sorry I am for, about what happened.
Sorry, let me just answer that. Hello? What? Wait, slow down. Oh my God, that's horrible. Is he?
Everything okay?
Someone just assaulted our vice principal in the parking lot.
No, Benson.
Oh my God!
No,
What are you
put it away.
doing?
This isn't what you want. You don't know me! Why are you doing this?
Because, Randy, I have been watching you. You are 20 years old, and you are already more pathetic than every person in this godforsaken town, and that bugs me. But there's something about you. There's something fixable. I mean, hell, when you were standing there, watching me, waiting for me to kill you. That was the only thing I believed. And if I'm gonna help you, then I can't have you getting in my way. Because it forces me to hurt you. I need you to work with me, not against me.
Thriller horror right there. If you are someone that loves to catch up on those, I would highly recommend that. And we have Kyle Gallner as Benson, Lisa Well as Miss Bernard, Billy Slaughter as Hardy, Matthew Lorian as Chris, Jodie Shirley as Jess, Kenisha Washington as Marsha, and very many more that were cast in this movie that you might want to check upon this weekend. Also, we do have a recommendation. If you're not a movie person or you are not into movies but you like to read, I would recommend this movie for you so that you can go and entertain yourself this weekend. I usually link reading novels to sipping tea. The only challenge is Ugandans, you sip the tea faster than you read. For some reason, you can't concentrate on both. But yeah, you can catch up with this novel. And The Great Gatsby is a 1925 novel by American writer F. Scott Fitzgerald, set in the Jazz Age on Long Island near New York City. The novel depicts first-person narrator Nick Carraway's interactions with mysterious millionaire Jay Gatsby and Gatsby's obsession to reunite with his former lover, Daisy Buchanan. The novel was inspired by a youthful romance Fitzgerald had with socialite Geneva King and the riotous parties he attended on Long Island's North Shore in 1922. Following a move to the French Riviera, Fitzgerald completed a rough draft of the novel in 1924. He submitted it to editor Maxwell Perkins, who persuaded Fitzgerald to revise the work over the following winter. After making revisions, Fitzgerald was satisfied with the text but remained ambivalent about the book's title and considered several alternatives. Painter Francis Cougart's dust jacket art greatly impressed Fitzgerald, and he incorporated its imagery into the novel. After its publication by Screenminers in April 1925, The Great Gatsby received generally favorable reviews, and though some literary critics believed it did not equal Fitzgerald's previous efforts compared to his earlier novels This Side of Paradise in 1920 and The Beautiful and the Damned 1922. The novel was a commercial disappointment. It sold fewer than 20,000 copies by October, and Fitzgerald's hopes of monetary windfall from the novel were unrealized. When the author died in 1940, he believed himself to be a failure and his work forgotten. and so much more that I could read for you about this particular book. But if you're someone that is into The Great Gatsby, this is something that you might want to check out this weekend. Well, that's it for the entertainment updates. The movies that we have recommended, The Collectives and God is a Bullet, you can get to catch up on those this weekend. And of course, the book that you might want to read in case you are someone that loves to read. For now, we are going to be getting into sports, and Ruben, the sportsman, will be giving us those sports updates, and we'll be right back.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
This Pereno, as the name prescribes, is the project for restoration of livelihood in northern region. So it was designed to support the population in order to implement the national programs of wealth creation, improving household income, and this is done through supporting agriculture. And by supporting agriculture, you support seed production, training of farmers, mindset change, and even it went ahead to have components of food security grants, whereby families were given grants to be able to improve their food security. But there was also community-based natural resources grants, which were given to families to put in place woodlots, which would help them to reduce on killing the vegetation and deforestation, looking for energy or for firewood.
Juko. Yo. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the Parish Development Model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The Parish Development Model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
This weekend on UBC.
I was in Hong Kong, and as she's closing her eyes praying, I walked in and just sat in front of her. She felt the power of God fall upon her, and God told her, your husband is in front of you. So she opens her eyes and sees me, and I'm black, and she says, no.
In Germany, sometimes some people are a bit like low-key racist.
We who went there for the wedding in Cape Verde, we had a problem with that language barrier, and you put on a kanzu, they ask you why you're putting on a dress.
But the main issue is God. You have to pray.
And the cultural difference between Asia and Africa is far stretched.
If you understand someone despite them being white or African, something can work out.
It's easy to adjust to European culture. It's easy to adjust to American culture because this is what you're seeing.
Not been much of Asia.
Not much of Asia. Their culture is quite different.
In Africa, there is this male-dominated world that where women are always solo.
God told me, you need to stay in Hong Kong. And she was there. She said, I believe you'll bless my city.
This weekend on UBC.
UBC is the national public broadcaster. We educate, inform, entertain, and inspire our audiences. You can watch us on free-to-air channel 001, DSTV channel 282, GoTV channel 371, Star Times channel 201, Zuku TV channel 20, and Azam TV channel 350. Even when your subscription expires, you can still watch UBC for free on your pay TV platforms.
amazina nabanyeta ndyamuba Amon Sarongo kandi nanye nukundi kweyeta chairman w'abantu abino burema ahabwa Rushenyi PWD Emyoga Sacco.
My name is Nyamuba Amon Salongo, and I serve as the chairman of PWD Emyoga Sacco in Rushenyi constituency. As individuals with disabilities, we have greatly benefited from the support we received in the form of 30 million Ugandan shillings seed capital. Despite facing challenges, the impact has been immense. Our SACCO consists of 211 members, and we have utilized the opportunity to engage in goat rearing. By taking advantage of the low interest rates provided, we have been able to purchase goats. While some members have faced difficulties, this initiative has proven beneficial overall. Additionally, we were later granted an additional 20 million Ugandan shillings, which we put to good use. This financial support has played a significant role in the progress of each and every SACCO member. Through these initiatives, we aim to ensure that everyone in our community benefits from our collective efforts.
We are running the program of parish development model that is
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Friday edition. Many thanks for sticking with us from where we started at 6:30 in the morning. And we are cruising so well so far, when you come to think of it. We have 21 minutes to the top of the hour, 9 a.m. And now we're going to talk the Owito Munka Festival, the second edition. Yes, and of course for all the people from the Bachiga Nation and, you know, everybody who loves this kind of festivals, really. It is high time you put up, you know, you set your ears right because of what we're definitely going to be discussing. Now, joining me as we discuss this and more is Derek Events. Good morning, Derek. Many thanks for joining us.
Good morning to you, sir. How are you, bro?
I'm good.
I'm also fine.
And welcome to Good Morning Uganda Friday edition.
I'm so humbled to be here, and I'm happy to be here.
All right, first, yes, I don't know whether I pronounced that very well. Owito Munka.
It is Owito Omuka. Owito Omuka. Yes, please.
And what does this represent and what does it stand for?
Owito Omuka means being home, like in Runyachitara, in Ruchiga Runyankore, it means being home. Home is Owito, so Owito means being home. Yes, please.
All right, now speaking of the second edition of Being Home, or the Owito Munka Festival, I wish to understand first is how was the first edition and how was the turn-up?
First of all, I want to first thank here because I was here when we were going to do the first edition. I was given platform and it was a very successful event because we filled up the place and it was very fantastic. It was fun, people had fun, and we hope for the best even for the second edition.
Okay, and where is the second edition going to take place this time around?
The second edition is going to take place at Hilltop Naguru. Yeah, Hilltop Naguru, just after the police main gate. Yes, please.
All right, now Derek, let's look at also the performances. What acts are we going to be having this time round? Not only that, how much do the tickets go for anyone who wants to take part in the festival this time round?
Yes, please. At the acts that are going to be at the event, we expect Ray G, we expect Fact Zamani, we expect Shine Omuchiga, we expect all the DJs and MCs from Western Uganda, and we also expect all the culture troops from Western Uganda. Meanwhile, we also expect to give you this local feel, like we have to give you this feel that you can feel like you're at home. Like if you're from Western Uganda, we have to give you the feel like you are experiencing what you saw like 10 years back at home. That's the best thing we want to do, even leaving alone the artist and what. For us, what we want to do is just giving the people a feel of being at home. Because our event is Owit Omuka. As I told you, Omuka means being, like it's home.
So you want to bring home to everybody?
Yeah, we want to bring home to everybody. That's the main reason for the event.
Is it more of targeting a certain region, if you come to think of it, or it is open to every well-wisher?
Yes, please. It's open to every well-wisher. It's really open to everyone that can join us, because where we come from, we respect everybody. We receive everyone like we've come, because when we are growing up, what they teach us is to grow with people. We grow with everyone that comes to us, so it's for everyone. Baganda, Bagisu, every tribe in Uganda is really welcome. Even not Ugandans, even whites are also welcome to the event, because you will come and have fun. Yes, please.
Okay, and also when you look at a turn up of this kind of magnitude, making people feel at home.
Yes,
what does it take to invite? I've come to see or realized we've been having quite a number of festivals in Uganda, which are majorly regional centered.
Yes.
There was the Iwachu I've heard of such festivals and everything. The Bachiga Nation as well. When you look at that, is it more of a community kind of drive, or there is a specific goal that you focus on?
No, for us we have a specific goal. First of all, we are trying to create a platform for entertainers from the Western. We at least want to create a very bigger platform for them, so that they can also get a chance. Because you see, the artists from Western Uganda have been always called regional artists. So we have to grow it and make them also countrywide artists and even international artists. So we are just creating a platform. First of all, we are creating
for the Western performers.
Yeah,
well, speaking of the Western performers and entertainers, so that means we do not expect anyone from the big names within within the central region.
Don't call them the big names, because they also have the big names
from West. Okay, the big names in central won't be available.
No, here is the thing.
Yes.
We also have big names from Western Uganda.
Okay.
Yeah. But then they've not been given platforms around and what. And then that's what we are trying to build up, giving platform to the big names we have in Western Uganda, because we also have big names. We really have very, very big names around.
I know.
Just that you people have not understood it, and maybe you've not, I don't know how I can say it, but then we've not been given a chance. But then right now we are trying to build that chance on our own.
So you mean to say we do not have other big artists here who come from the West?
We have, because the likes of Waiki Benda, Levikson.
I actually thought those would be also available if you come to think of
probably, because we've not yet listed out all the artists. But then, right now we have some.
Okay.
And then we wish to, because we still have a period of like 3 weeks Okay. So in these 3 weeks, we can add on and maybe give you other big names. Yes, please.
Coming up. All right, now in your parting shots, kindly remind the Ugandans when the festival will be taking place, what they need to know, the must-haves, or what you should do, let's say the do's and the don'ts for the festival, and what they should carry with as they are coming to the festival as well. And then also really reminding them of, where you see this festival in the next years.
Okay, first of all, the festival is 8th of October. 8th of October this year. It will take place at Hilltop Naguru, and our tickets go for 10,000 ordinary. That's general. General will go for 10,000. We do not have VIP, we have tables. Our tables go for 300K, and the tables are for 5 people. And it comes with accompaniments on the table.
Oh.
Yes, please. It will be a cultural feel. Everything will be cultural. We are trying to create a feeling of being home, like I told you first. Yeah, so everything will be cultural. We shall only entertain Western culture at the event. That's on stage, but in the audience, we can entertain anyone that can come around, Vandy.
Okay.
Yeah, we really respect anyone that comes around. I wish everyone could come and experience this thing because it's really super, super nice.
All right.
Yeah, I'm also super excited to see everyone that could come along.
8th October, you said?
Yeah, 8th October. It's the Independence Eve.
Okay.
The Monday will be a holiday, so you can come, enjoy, and go home, rest, and work on Tuesday.
All right.
Yes,
what a weekend we shall be having in October, trust me. Thank you very much, Derek, for your time. And then for the viewers, we are Good Morning Uganda, Friday edition. After the break, we return with Titus as we continue to have more of the gospel industry and the gospel hype here on the show. So stick around, but the Owita Munka Festival will be coming to you. Omuka. Oweitu Omuka Festival will be coming in October. Stick around though. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
This Preno, as the name prescribes, is the project for restoration of livelihood in northern region. So it was designed to support the population in order to implement the national programs of wealth creation, improving household income, and this is done through supporting agriculture. And by supporting agriculture, you support seed production, training of farmers, mindset change, and even it went ahead to have components of food security grants, whereby families were given grants to be able to improve their food security. But there was also community-based natural resources grants, which were given to families to put in place woodlots, which would help them to reduce on killing the vegetation and deforestation, looking for energy or for firewood.
Juko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a poultry project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Sirina kufaanana nga kubidwa emmando olyokumanya nti ndi mulokole. Sirina ngatto okusooka gwa lubego kakase nti ndi mulokole. Ebyo byakyuka sitoleze ebiwembeza komada kati twakyusa ebyokusibuka obubiri byali byadda. Ebivunyese lumya njogamu osanga ku bici nga mpugamu kakata kalungi nekeyiwamu nenyuma sasa musango kulubuka weitemeza majijjo z'ensoda singa kokoko na fanta tetulina musango abali mu Yesu bannange ate abalokole endala eriwa bwe tuva wano mbuza tutawa mupeereza kasindalo nya tule bonna bamanye tupate wekubeka mekapu yake wesala kagoye konyabo nyume tekako ka perfume mu kisuke otambule bamanyi tuli mulokole bwe banagana okulukuku lw'enjiri banalokoka lwanda likalwaki kati mbuza werumiza ki yakuseddezo bintu byansi yatuwa 10 mu ggulu ne ku nsi abalokole tuli mu nnyo gwa nsi tuli bakitalo nga ndine Yesu ndi wa kitalo.
Ndimulokole is the song right there. We have been vibing in the studio here, and this song reminds me, I watched a video recently on social media that was saying being a born-again Christian does not mean you should look like problems, does not mean you should look miserable. And I think the song does this justice. Wear your best clothes, wear perfume, look good. I mean, being a mulokole doesn't mean you should look terrible. You're misrepresenting the kingdom, right? You're misrepresenting the kingdom of God, because God wants us to look good and be okay. That is the song right there, and the question was Titus, what prompted you to sing this song?
Actually, I was inspired by actual events. Yeah, as we have said, being a born again, it doesn't mean that you have to look problems.
Right.
Yeah.
Because people think actually balokole babona apparently.
I don't know why simanyi kyavaawa omuntu okurecognizing that you're born again inakubango ng'ofaanana bubi engatte egudde olubege nviri zisiiwuse baga you're true born again. But ebintu byakyuseemu.
Wrong perception. And I understand you performed at the Phaneroo anniversary.
Yes.
When it comes to Christianity and that particular side of life, this is a very big platform. How was this for you performing? It was at Kololo Independence Grounds. Yes, I had a chance to attend online, but yes. How was it for you?
It was my dream coming true.
Okay.
Because it was my first time to perform. Mu bantu abafaanana because bantu balinga mitwalo 10 n'okudda waggulu. It was my first time. First of all, I was a little bit scared. Naye nalina omuntu aŋŋamba no man, you can make it. So eninya ku stage ku kituuti abantu ne welcome, they welcomed me. Yeah. Oh yeah, I understand.
Because also the challenge of First Overtime has been that there is not been very many songs that people can dance to.
Yes.
In the church, people had this perception that in church you have to be straight and you can't dance, you can't move. Of course, over the years we have come, we've put that away over time, and I think it's a song that gives us this feeling of okay. we are getting there. We have managed to get Balokole to dance to Balokole songs.
You know, gospel music, gospel, they used to play gospel music on only Sundays.
That's very true.
Yeah, even on TVs and radios, Sundays was for gospel music only. You understand?
Yeah.
But now, gospel music is everywhere, even on TikTok.
Right.
Balokole are there now.
Yeah, because I got to learn about this song via TikTok.
Yeah.
Quite a number of people were actually, picking up the challenge.
Yes.
And then I was like, we have a new trend of gospel music, that gospel music is full of life and everything. But when you look at this new trend of gospel, where do you see it, in the next generations? Because currently we have teenagers who are picking up gospel music. It wasn't the case back in the time, whereby people are filling up concerts. Last week there was a concert. This weekend there is one again. And people go out in numbers to support gospel music, by the way. Where do you see the gospel music industry as for you?
This is a new generation.
Yeah.
Mulembe gwa teens, gwa
bavubuka youth, young.
Ne bakitaffe nabo bakyaliwo but nabo bamaze bakikiriza bakiriza nti guno mulembe gwafa abavubuka. So nga bakyogedde today tuyina Sinachi agenda kubeera ali ku hockey ground.
This time live in the park last weekend.
Live in the park era naliyo kintu kyali kirungi nnyo. So guno mulembe Katonda agutuwadde tugenda kukyusa buli kimu kubanga njagala twagala tu inspiring abavubuka abandi yagadde okulokoka naye nga bagamba you know what we nalokoka bagenda kuŋŋaana my damaged jeans bagenda kuŋŋaana akakubo kange mu nviiri. So we want to inspire abantu abafaanana we bati bajje mu church bajje nga we bali okitegeera
bave mu mbeera eziri unholy but they can remain as they are
nga we bali.
And praise the Almighty.
Exactly. So ekyo kye tugezaako okukola nti omuntu wabanga ayagala kidongo mu bbaala o anywhere else asobola okujja ne mu church naye endongo kan tugikola ki
nenga ya Jesus the same
endongo ya Yesu.
Amen. Thank you very much. I think that is my last question for the day. I love the song so much.
Thank you so much.
And to all the born again Christians out there, there's a beautiful jam, by the way.
Amen.
Right, well, we are going to be signing off this very moment. Thank you for staying with us from 6:30 in the morning till now. And our weekend has begun, and I'm hoping that you get to have a lovely one. Don't drink and drive. Take care of yourself. Spend some time with family. Crack some movies we recommended. But also dance to Ndimulokole, because we are going to be leaving Titus here performing the very song for you, launching you into the weekend. From me and the team, have a good weekend.
Sirinanga tokusoka gwa lubego kakasenti ndi mulole ebyo byakyuka sitoleze ebiwembeza ku madda kitwakyusa ebyokusibuka obuviiri byali bya zewezivunye serumya njogamu osanga ku bici nga mpugamu kakata kalungi nekeyiwamu nenyuma saza musango kuloga weitemeza bakijjuze soda singa kokoko na fanta katulina musango abali mu Yesu bannange bate abalokole ndaleriwa bwetuba wano buza tuddawa mumpereza kasindalo nyatule bonna bamanye twendi mulokole misana nekiro ndi mulokole nze Yesu tanswaza ewe tuba mu bantu era sigala njatula I can't deny it. I can never deny it. Nimulokole, yatu amuwatu era sigala ndokoka. Yatu amuwatu era sigala simanya mwategedde. Fenno tusimbudde, sala yaziwulidde. Abalokole mukuje tupate wekube kamekapo yake wesala kagoye konyabo nyume tekako ka perfume kisuke otambule tambula bebisenza bwibanagano okulokokolwa enjiri nalokoka lwandabika kati mbuuza weerumiza ki yakuseddezo bintu byansi yatuwa 10 mu ggulu ne ku nsi abalokole tuli mu nnyo gwa nsi tuli bakitalo nga ndine Yesu ndi wa kitalo onanana nze wendifunye serumya gyogamu osanga ku bici nga mpugamu kakata kalungi ne keyiwamu n'ennyuma ndi mulokole isana n'ekiro ndi mulokole nze Yesu tanswaza netuba mu bantu era nsigala njatula ndi mulokole
Morning Uganda. Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
This PRENO, as the name prescribes, is the project for restoration of livelihood in northern region. So it was designed to support the population in order to implement the national programs of wealth creation